Cue the worst vlog ever, the San Diego vlog.
I love you. See ya. Text me.
What was the exact problem? Is it a flight computer or one of the computers? Oh, okay. Very good. So we got on the plane, sat on the tarmac for a bit. Apparently one of the flight computers wasn't working, so the maintenance people weren't able to fix it. So we're all off the plane now. And we're just waiting for a new plane to get here so we can get out and down to San Diego. Also, I totally feel bad for the people who work in the airline because I feel like they're always just getting harassed by angry travelers. I try to be overly nice to these people because I bet they've had a long day and they've dealt with a lot of assholes. A bit more waiting in the terminal. We're 2 hours later than we're supposed to be, but finally made it to San Diego. Hi.
How are you?
Good, how are you doing?
Great.
So you finally made it,
Yeah.
huh? And perfect.
Yes.
Here we go.
So tired. Ugh. Okay, made it to the hotel. It is 10 to 2 right now. Course starts at 7:30 in the morning. So I gotta get to bed. It's a horror movie light here. I always do this when I travel. I always forget to eat proper food. I got a croissant when I was in Vancouver airport, thinking that that was gonna be adequate for dinner. Like 5 hours later, I'm starving now and there's no places open. Sleep through my hunger pains. This is the reality for many people in the world. Only 5 hours till breakfast. Yes I am. The service is open now though. Damn it. I just realized I totally forgot to brush my teeth. Personal hygiene. So annoying. Okay, so I woke up at like 7:20. I was supposed to be downstairs for 7:30. Got a shower, got dressed in 10 minutes. Came down, just meeting the shuttles here now. We're actually going to take a bus to whatever facility they're doing this at. I may not be able to film there only because we're gonna be working on cadavers and there is a confidentiality sort of issue there. If I can, I will. So we'll see what we can see. If I fast forward to the end of the conference and you don't see anything, that's because I wasn't able to film. Okay, not allowed to film, but we'll check back in later. So we couldn't film at the workshop. Flash back to Vancouver real quick so I can kind of show you the tools that we use, interventional radiologists. Primary two pieces of equipment we use. One, the catheter. It's kind of like a piece of spaghetti, just hollow. We can put things through it like wires to help us navigate, or we can inject medications through it by taking the wire out. Basically all we use are wires with floppy tips, and we can put them through the catheter, and these we can use to navigate through the blood vessel system and get pretty much anywhere in the body. The wire goes through the catheter. As I advance, wire comes out, pull back, wire goes back in, twist and rotate. This is basically the premise of how we navigate. We lead with wire, and then we advance with catheter. Okay, so I had this actual practice board, but I lost it, so I made one out of Oasis. Green stuff, yeah, with plants. I stole it from Becky and made this setup. It is not ideal, but it gets the point across. Picture these channels as blood vessels in cross section. The way we see them in the body, in case you're wondering, is we actually use X-rays to infer where the blood vessels are based on where our wires are going. We can inject contrast or dye, as some people have heard it called. Basically, that's just an iodine-based liquid that we can see under X-ray. You can see my catheter tip here. We lead with wire, and then we can choose which path we want to go down. Do we want to go on the right side here, or do we want to go back and go down the left side here? And then once we lead with wire, we can advance catheter by leaving the wire stationary. So we've entered an aneurysm. So what an aneurysm is an abnormal dilatation of a blood vessel. Basically like a big sac that hangs off a blood vessel. The problem with aneurysms is that they can rupture because the tension in the wall is a lot higher than in a normal blood vessel. The way we treat aneurysms is we can put things inside of them that will block them off, and that's called an embolization. Things that we commonly use would be metallic coils made of platinum. We first get our catheter into the aneurysm sac, and then we fill it with coils. Sometimes aneurysms have multiple blood vessels feeding them and draining them. So in this case, there's two back doors that we have to treat first. You can see how you can select into the various outflowing blood vessels by just turning the wire and selecting in that way. For sake of time here, I'm just going to show you how to deploy one coil. So if we want to treat an aneurysm, we'll basically select into it. So my wire leads, followed by my catheter. Now my catheter is inside the aneurysm. I can remove the wire completely. So we've removed the wire. We We have our hollow tube, which is going directly into the arterial system, into the patient's blood vessels, and we can put the coil through the catheter. Also, if our catheter is in an artery that's supplying some tumor, say in the liver, we can actually directly administer drugs such as chemotherapy into the tumors. So that would be called a TACE, or transarterial chemoembolization. Just gonna load the coil into the catheter. So as I advance the coil, it does exactly as the name would suggest, it just coils up. And once I get to the end, I can detach it. You can see as I pull my catheter back, the coil is now detached in the aneurysm. Once the coil is in place, we can detach it, and we'll basically just pack the aneurysm full of metallic coils just to block the blood supply off to it, and hence depressurize it and lower the risk of rupture. Once we're finished, our catheter just gets pulled back and the coils stay exactly in place. So in case you're wondering how we get into the arterial system, or sometimes the venous system, into the blood vessels, we basically use a needle and ultrasound. We puncture the blood vessel with the needle. When we see blood come out, we know we're inside the blood vessel, and then we place our floppy tip wire through the needle. Needle comes off, and then a catheter can go over the wire. And we basically just use that wire catheter technique. What happens if you accidentally put a coil in the wrong spot, or it happens to move a little bit when you try to detach it? Then you have to get into retrieval systems like this thing called a snare, a lasso. I'm from Texas, I'm a disgrace. As you deploy the snare, it forms this loop inside the blood vessel. You advance the snare around the end of the coil, and then once you have it snagged, you can lock it in by pulling back and then pull out the coil. It's better to place the coil properly in the first place because this can take a long time. Ideally, you don't want to have to use these, but they are a good bailout tool. Some things just don't go as planned. Okay, hope that was sort of informative. You kind of have a better idea of what tools I use on a daily basis. This was less than ideal. It was foam block from Becky's Flower Arrangements. Yeah, I couldn't really film anything at San Diego. So, back to San Diego. Tonight was pretty nice. Just got to hang out with some new people that I met at the course. We just went out to the downtown area and got some food. The course was good. Couldn't film during it, unfortunately, just because of confidentiality issues with the cadavers. People donated their body to science, and therefore I have to respect their privacy. We got to practice some new techniques with intravascular ultrasound. There were some speakers that were all very good. I learned a lot there, and just gonna head home tomorrow. Flight is early in the morning. I have to wake up at 4 a.m. I will see you in Vancouver. So while I'd like you to think that I have a great time and party, woo, like sitting in the hotel room, thumbs twiddling, either studying or watching movies.